Good evening, it's Michael here from Michael's Card Art, and I have a small confession to make. I've just finished doing the video where I talked about and demonstrated how I made these cards, and I had a number of topics that I wanted covered off as part of that video. For example, the use of multiple embossing folders and folders to create a background, as you can see here with quilted, and I've used elegant borders or elegant edges die cut to create this particular border here on this plain piece that I've over stamped on. And here in the video that I had, or the card that I made as part of that video, I've used the embossing folder called Subtly, and over the top of that I've used the quilted embossing folder to give you that slightly different look. And I think that's a really elegant look there. I was also demonstrated how to do layering, where you've stamped the bouquet and then you've got a third one and you've stamped and coloured that one and overlaid it, and the benefits of that. We also talked about fussy cutting and how to do that and ways to get around that gap. And now the light's gone out. Oh dear, it's been a day. And for example, in this one here, you can see that I haven't actually cut this piece out. But if I look at this card that I made for you tonight, I've cut the piece out. How did I do that? Well, so I had covered all of that off. I also had a video. In that video, I showed you how I did the urn. Now, it's just gone to custard, because what I did was I was editing the video and I didn't have enough space, and so it asked me to delete some large files. And one of the large files that I deleted, and I can only, you only get one chance, and delete, yes, delete it, I don't need it, and it's gone. And it was the one that I needed. So I'm so sorry, this has taken me longer than I expected, so forgive me. But this is the card that I made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo the video again. And that's why you will see this on a Thursday evening, not on Wednesday evening, as I promised. So please forgive me for being so silly. But in the interest of time, I'm going to start the process of the video, and I'm going to talk about, we'll get everything ready for it. But the first thing I'm going to do is stamping. And one of the questions that I did get asked from a viewer was, how do I create such sharp images in the and give these cards a retro look with the stamping? Well, the answer to that, my answer to that, and I may stand corrected if somebody else has a view, the quality of the stamps, for one thing. I mean, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I do use other products, but primarily all of my stuff is from Stampin' Up! And their stuff is second to none in terms of quality. But if we're talking retro cards, you will notice that I never use black when I'm stamping a product, or stamping a stamp onto the cardstock. And the reason for that is, I just think a dark brown is a much better fit for what we're trying to achieve. And if you think back to the old days when photos had that sepia look about them, brown was a predominant colour. And I've just stumbled across, just by chance, that I prefer that brown stamp on an aged card or a retro styled card more so than I do black. And so we've got the quality of the stamp, the quality of the ink is excellent with Stampin' Up, and the cardstock I'm going to be using is beige for this card. So I'm just going to show you how effective the, and the black will be just as effective, but the brown just gives it a slightly better look, I think, than the black. So let's just have a look at this. It's crisp, it's sharp, it's very good. And we're also going to show you, I'm going to show you the colouring aspect of that as well while I've got the stamps out. So just let's get this one stamped, and I'll get that into the system. There we go. Oh, a bit of a jiggle there, and look at that, I missed it. Not good, Michael, but we're going to turn that over. Let me just cut that first, because I want to have these all on display. I'm going to stamp this one over here, just on a firmer surface than what I had there. Just bear with me a moment. Okay. I don't think that's very firm either for some reason. Right, there we go. That's the leaf. And let's get the butterfly in there as well. And here we go. I'll just get my scissors and chop that down. And there's our butterfly. All right. There's our images. Now, I want to show you while I've got this out, just the colouring aspect. So now that we've determined that brown, a dark brown, or a light brown, depending on what it is that you're trying to achieve, is the best way to go. I'm going to now, if we look at these cards, what I've done here, these have got a slight tinge of green, and you can see, if I hold this right up to the camera, you can see the graduation of the greens in the leaves. And how I've achieved that is by using some different coloured greens or some different shades of the one colour. In these ones, I've used brown for the leaves. Same thing, a darker and a lighter brown coming to the top of the plant. So let's take that step a little bit further. I'm going to use my blends, a dark crumb cake and a light soft suede. Let's just see what that looks like, to make sure it's not too dark. And what do we say? Light suede and dark crumb cake. It's a little bit too similar. I'm going to go with a light crumb cake. And let's just see if I can get a better contrast there. Oh yes, okay. And the suede is here. Yes, I think that'll be good. So let's start with these leaves here. Now, there's a Facebook page called Blends and Beyond. You've got to go and check it out. I would never buy a stamp set like this where it had visuals that I had to colour and cut out, because I did not like this little millimetre gap between the image and the cut. For some reason, it just didn't work for me. And so what I would tend to do in the early days of learning how to do card craft, I would just buy dies, and I would use dies and colour those up and then attach them. But now that I know how to colour, well, as an amateur, I love these stamp sets now. And so go to Blends and Beyond if you think you cannot colour, and you'll be surprised with what you learn in a very short period of time. Excuse my throat. I'm just seeing if my glass of water is here. Just bear with me a moment. Now, so we're using soft suede, a light soft suede, and a light crumb cake. Let's see how we go here. Now, with short strokes, we're just starting the colouring process. Now, it is helpful if you can create, take the ink to a board, give yourself a natural border. to work to. So in that way you don't have to keep going over to the lines. Now let's just take the lighter color into those areas where you've already colored, and with short flicking motion take the color up to the end of the leaf. And what you're doing, blends are all about mixing the two colors together to give you that two-toned effect. So with the lighter color, always go back into the area that you've already colored to pick up some of that other color and blend it in. And you can start to see, as this dries, you can start to see the colors as they blend. Now, and just taking that forward. Because I'm male, it is difficult for me to multitask. Simply, so coloring and talking, we'll see how we go. Just taking your time, gentle flicks, and then bringing the lighter color in and mixing it through. And as it dries, you will see that you will get that tonal effect. Okay, that looks good so far. And and likewise. And normally I would make you sit through and watch all this, but I find colouring quite therapeutic. So, and the fact that I've done 2 hours of videoing, nearly half an hour of editing, and then to lose the lot, I could do with some relaxation. And so here we are. Do you know, I went down and bought, I've got, I don't know, 70 colours from Stampin' Up in my stash, and with corresponding blends and markers and writers and gosh knows what else. But then I had to, for some reason, go out and buy 350 of the Oahu or Ohuhu. They're like Copic markers anyway. So I got the 350 set. They arrived today and I'm just overwhelmed. They look fantastic, but before I really want to use them, I've got to go and create samples for all those, swatches for all those, because as you know, the colour in a marker is not always the same colour or shade as what is displayed on the case of the marker. When it hits paper, it does seem to change tone. Now that looks fantastic. You can start to see the different tones coming through. Look at that. Okay, now, do I like that leaf set? I don't really. But anyway, we're going to use this one just for this exercise, so I can show you a little more clearly, because this is a broader leaf. These strokes, just taking them up and bringing in the next colour. Now, I don't know whether my crumb cake marker is getting a bit dry or whether it is the or if it's just the weather. I don't know. I'd like to think it's just the weather. I think it's still holding its own. Create the border and bring in the lighter colour, take it over the areas that you've already coloured, and there we go. And you can do this with any leaf design that you have in your stash. just take one out, find the stamp that you like, take it out, and just practice the technique. And you'll be surprised, like I was, I'm sure. Okay, and just the final one. You can use the artist's lines to help with your colouring. You don't have to. And I'm just doing this one a slightly different way, following the artist's lines to show you what that might look like as well. Okay, and you can see it very distinctly up there. All right, and the last one, create a border. And taking the colour all the way up. Right up to there. Fantastic. There we go. Now, let's move back to the flower. I coloured this one a couple of colouring tones. I'll show you these. So this one here, I've coloured it just with one colour, and I've stopped the colouring 3/4 of the way up, and with some jagged strokes to give it a bit of a variegated look. It's very effective if you like that look. Here's another example of where I've coloured with one colour all the way through to the end, but see what I've done? I put gold embossing powder here and highlighted it there. I did the same thing with this one, stamped it, and did Cajun red up here just to the 3/4 mark, and then you can see that I've put gold embossing powder in the base of the flower. And this one here, it's been two-tone coloured, dark down here with dark freesia, and then I'll use the light freesia just to finish that one off. Okay, so what I'm going to do here with this one, I do like the way this one's shaping up very well. So I'm going to pick a different colour this time, and I might use let's be a little bit adventurous and go with silver and grey granite, I think. Let me just see, smoky slate, grey granite. Yeah, let's go with grey granite and silver. So in this case, let's do this. I'm going to do the silver first. So just with this, what do you call this? A Versamark pen. I'm going to colour just with some strokes, bring the base in, and lift that and take some of those long strokes right up. So effectively using the artist's lines that he or she has provided us in this image. And here, just bring it down so it's full colour there. And there we go. Sweeping that through, up some big lines. There we go. And I think that should be enough. All right, let's get our, and you know what I should have done? I should have used the embossing buddy to remove any extra grease that I may have left when I've been colouring it. But anyway, let's see how we go here. So it's just marked off, just a fine sprinkle. Okay, so it could have helped. I seem to have just a bit too much, but here you can see it's quite good. It's come up okay. And I'll show you what we can do to get rid of some of that excess. Okay, let's just park that because that is more than enough. Oh no, actually, I want a very fine artist brush, And I'm just going to remove some of this. Yeah, I just didn't like all that in there. That's it. I'm just going to brush some of this away. There we go. And I'm going to do a little bit away from there. There we go, just breaking up that thickness a bit. And the same down here. Okay. And a slightly bigger brush to get rid of some of the excess from here. Okay. I think we're back in business. Okay. All right. I think that's good. Let's put that away. And I'll get my heat gun out. Pardon the noise. Okay. Now, we've got the silver in there, and it's starting to change my thinking about what we do with the next color. I think we need... Okay, well, it doesn't matter what we need. I think let's just go with the plan that we had originally, and we'll see what falls out of that. And as I do that, I'm just... silver, no. I'm going to suggest I need a dark color, but a bright one. A dark, bright color. What is this? This is Moody Mauve. Okay, we're going to try this. Yes, this is a little bit braver than what I expected, but anyway, let's go with this. I think you're going to like it. So just those little flicks. There we go. Taking it up 3/4 of the way. We're going to probably colour all of these floral petals. And how is that looking? Do you know, that's not too bad. Actually, I'm only going to do this mauve in here. I'm just going to come around this way, create my border. And there we go. Okay, and here, and finally we'll go back in here and fill in these spots. All right, and right. Oh yes, I think that does look quite nice. Is the silver too much? No, I think that's going to look good. And I'll tell you why. Oh! Yeah, we can fussy cut that out, so don't worry about that. All right, let's put that aside. And there's, we've got our colours so far. Right, let's put that aside. I now want to show you how I did the urn. And I'll just get these away. And you'll notice I did say that the urn is not a Stampin' Up product. That die set is not a Stampin' Up product. And where does this go? Crumb cake. It's one that I've made myself. Now, let's show you how that started. It is an oval. It started as an oval. And so what I did with my cutting blade, I'm just going to put this on the angle so that you can comfortably see. Here's the shape of the urn. You can see that it was possibly an oval, and I've chopped the end off it. So let's go and do that first. And the way to do that, how am I going to do this? No, I have to do it this way. So try and find, and I've just marked those center points there. I'm going to make the urn, let's just do it this size to start with. All right, and you can see it's not a straight line, or it's not, it needs to be, I've taken too much from that side. Let's take this and chop the end off it, the base off, sorry. Don't use that as a guide. Right, and my blade is starting to need a replacement. Do you know my last order, what I did was, right, now we've got a flat line, and there it is there. You can see the flat line there. So let's square that up again. There it is. Bring that down, and there we go. Okay, that's pretty good for what we want. Okay, now there's a couple of ways you can do this. I'm going to show you this way. It's got a couple of lines of embossing powder. I'm going to make that silver as opposed to gold. So let's just draw some lines in here. If I can get the end off the pen. Right. And 1, 2, and 2, 3. Oh, and I should have used the embossing buddy, and I haven't. So apologies for that. All right, let's see if it will take it. Now we're going to use the silver again because that's what we've got in our flowers. Let's just see. Oh, that's pretty good. There is a bit of residue left on the side, and it would be great if the line was straight too, Michael. Well, it's an exercise in showing you how it was done, so don't worry too much about the straightness of that line. So here we go. There we go. Fantastic. All right, that's how that was made. All right, now let's do this. I'll show you how we roll with this. Now, the pot, I'm looking back here, we've got the mauve and the browns. So let's take those colors and, what did I say, moody mauve. We've got brown. I'm going to use soft suede and I think I need to bring in a green, and I like Old Olive. Okay, all right, let's see how this goes. Now the colouring, you can use markers, you can use anything you want, but what I like to see on my urns and things like that is this patina that appears, you know, the unevenness in colour and this light spot. For me, this is where the light is hitting it, and therefore it's going to be lighter. Yeah. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like when we put it into action. So some soft suede, we'll start with that first, and I'm pretty rough. And you kind of need to be, because you will see some great colorations form as you work the cardstock. See, it's darker here, lighter there. I love it. That's the sort of thing I'm wanting. And because that reflects, I suppose, a bit of age. There. Now, I'm always holding my thumb there, and you can see that I've been working with colours because of the red that's, or the mauve that's gathered. I'm just going to, I'm not colouring in the centre too much. Now, let's bring in the mauve here and see what that looks like. Once again, following the same path that you did with the brown, and bringing the mauve in to play onto some of that lighter area, with, once again, still without colouring the whole thing, because we want the light coming in from there. And you can change the direction of the light to anywhere you want. Just hold your thumb over that somewhere. Now, that's looking okay. Now let's get some green in here. I like that we've got some light there. And look at that, there's the green. That's our central part. Take the green right to the edges now, a bit like our blending. And doesn't that look great? Just a bit more to turn off that green, just a fraction. There we go. We've got different tones on the pot, and that is just about done. Let me just get those out of the way and clear these up. And voila. Now, to shape it and give it that 3D look, more rough treatment, stretching the card out from all angles, because that also helps break up the fibers a bit and add to that natural look of something that's been painted a long time ago. And so I'm going to now show you how I will mount this onto the cardstock, onto the card itself. You can see I play around with my dimensionals as well. So I'm just putting these just around the edges, and you've probably seen a number of different ways that people do this. Some people load up the center with dimensionals. You don't need to do that, because let me show you how it will sit. Do I have some more? I do have some more. Can I use this? I'm going to make this my base. I mean, it looks so elegant there, doesn't it? Let me just see if I've got one access to a border here. It was elegant borders. And no, you know what I'm going to do? This die set is still available in the current Stampin' Up! Catalogue. Just knocked a card over. Oh. What I'm going to do is this. Okay, I need to get a piece of cardstock, so just bear with me one moment. Right, now all of my cards generally are of the same size when it's a single fold, and this is what I call a single fold. The base card is always 21 centimeters by 13 centimeters, and that gives you that bit of border there. 21 by 13 centimeters. The base, the top card is always 12.5 by 10 centimeters, like so. That is the size of all of my single fold cards generally. So we're taking out 12.5 by 10 centimeter cardstock here. These will be the top cards. And this one is going to sit over this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this around the bend set in action. If you haven't seen it before, it is brilliant. It adds a new dimension to your work. Now, I suggest you just tape it down and just so you've got an adherence point. You don't want it moving too much. Now, I think that's a good it's a good position. And I'm just going to run this through the die cut. Okay. Now, carefully remove the washi tape. Just gently. All right, now this is the piece that we want. One, two. Okay, now with this round the bend, we get, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be very good. I've just come up with another idea as I'm working through this. Now, let me show you. This is the around the bend. And we're using this one here. It has a corresponding die cut that you've just seen me do. And then it also has this piece that allows you to line up these points and stamp. And what I'm going to do with that is, let me just think about this for a second longer. Okay, what we're going to do is this. We have to find the point where it lines up best, and there it is about there. And you line them up and you get the dots. That's it, the dots there have corresponding ridges there. Just move that over a fraction. All right, and there we go, that's it there. So you can just still see that piece over there. All right, get our big block. It's a bit too big. Get this block here. And I've got these little glue dots on here because for some of the stamps, they've lost their stickiness, if you like. All right, so let's just nail that one there like that. I'm going to use the embossing buddy because I'm going to put this in a silver bar, a silver combination of embossing powder. and that will go very nicely with the base of the flower that we've just done. Now, where just do that again. I just want to give it just a bit more so I don't fall foul. All right, let's get this in here. I'm crowding myself out. I should be putting stuff away as I go. Let me just find that point. And I hope you can all see that. I'm trying to... whereabouts is it? No, it's not there. Oh, come on, let's just... Okay, I think we can go with touchdown now. All right. Don't rock it too much because you don't want a halo. Okay. I think that's good. Watch this. Here. Where is it? Here it is. So this is it's gold and silver mixed together, and it will be okay for this because I'm just going to bring it down there, and you can see a bit more over here. Okay, let's see how that looks when we put that under the heat. All right, here we go. Okay, now that can sit there like that. I'm just going to wipe this away without ruining our work. Okay. Just try that off. All right. Now, I think that looks fantastic. Maybe there was a reason why I deleted all my video. Right. I've just come up with another idea for another card, so park that one for later. Now, that sits there. And our, which we haven't cut yet, is going to sit inside that space. And where is it? It's right here. Okay, all right. Who's up for sitting here watching me do this fussy cut? I'm going to show you the first part, and then I'm going to, I want to say this. When you're fussy cutting, make sure you've got good scissors. Don't use the same scissors for fabric as you do for your cutting. Now, I never follow the line, I just follow around the line. And I'm now just getting rid of this big piece of excess that I don't need, because once that's gone, it'll make life easier getting into some of those shallow parts there. Now just taking that around, bending the card, I'm really just moving the card, and the scissors are just slowly closing as the card moves. And you're just keeping it nice and trim without going onto the lines, because as soon as you go onto the lines, you're going to cut into the shape, and that's not what you want. So keep a nice sharp point, says he who doesn't, on the top, the tip of the foliage. See if that's enough. It's not. Just take that forward a fraction more, and that should release that. Okay, do the same here. Just parallel with the line without going onto the line. And moving the card as you bring the scissors down. And see if that's enough. Bring that around and cut a bit more, and there we go. That's great. Just a bit longer down there, and that should release that. Oh, and you can see we've gone very close to the line. That's not good, Michael. Try and get a nice sharp point. And this one here, likewise. Now, a lot of people did say, oh, fussy cutting, I can't be bothered with that. And that's quite okay, because it's not for everyone. But if you want to persevere, it's all about practice. There we go. And that should release there without a burr. Oh no, I haven't done a great job of that, everybody, but this is a slightly difficult little number to. Now, when you do this sort of thing, there are many ways to hide any mistakes you might have made. Many ways. As crafters, we become very ingenious at hiding those little slip-ups. Now I've got to colour that stem too. There you go. Like so. And how much more have I got to cut? Just a fraction more. Okay, there we go. Not too shabby. All right. I'm just going to do this around here and that way, and I'll let you go, and I'll bring it back when I've finished it. And you know what? Even if you do slip up and you cut something off that you didn't need to or weren't supposed to, then you can always fix that as well. And I'm going to show you a deliberate act that can be fixed up in a minute. I'll just quickly do this one here. Now, the mistake is this. I don't mean to cut through there, but I have, because I wanted to get rid of that bit of soil. So see what I've done there? Right, that's not a problem, because then no one is even going to notice that. You take that and cut that off. There. That one falls away like it's supposed to. There we go. And we just go in and take that away as well. Now be very careful you don't. I came up through that way before. So this is the more difficult way. But don't be deterred. Says he who is now deterred. Do you know what? I'm just going to do this. It'll have two cuts, but you won't even notice it either. And this is what I'm aiming to do. And just cut that away. Like so. There we go. Right. Okay, and when it all goes back together, like so, it will look like it was meant to be. So now that I've done that, let's just keep going, and I won't turn off the camera. I'll make you sit there and watch me as I do this. Okay. And going through here, and here we go. So come away. No, not yet. And there it is there. And just around here. And here. And that's it. All right. Just finish that off there. And up around here. I have to keep checking that I'm not out of camera. Right. And that's that one there. All right. Now, just finish off this piece here. And around, down, and this one. I've cut so many of these things out since buying the set that I should be able to do this with my eyes closed. Right. Here we go. That should now fall away. And our last little piece here, nice sharp point if we can, around. There we go. And oops. Voila. And the last little bit here is this. Here we go. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, let's trim this one up just a fraction and around the edge. All right, and we come back in and we'll put that together once we assemble our urn. Now, for the purpose of the exercise, I'm going to see, I'll just get rid of that little nick there. There we go. And there is our urn. It's here. Now, let's assume that we're going to adhere it in that position there, and that we're not going to add any more foliage to it. So there is a perfectly great card with an urn and corresponding backing. I wonder, no, I don't need to put that in there. Let's put this together like this and show you how it looks. So this is going to go on like that. It'll be just glued on. Now, I ran out of glue in my last video, so let me just grab a fresh one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the video. I'm not going to go through the complete assembly of the card because I think there's enough elements here that will give you, oh, look what I've done here. What is that? I'm just going to get a cotton bud and remove some of that. I don't know what I was thinking. I never do that. See, talking, multitasking. It's not our strong point, as I've been told. Although I am pretty independent and I do like to get things done at a fast pace. Now, line that up so it is square with the card underneath. There we go. Look at that. Okay. And let me show you how the urn goes. Now, we've taken all of the... Oh, no, we haven't. I thought I had. We're going to take those off now. And when you're placing it, I'm just going to do this on the side here. When you're placing the urn, work out where the base is going to go and get one side on the base. Now pinch the urn and get the other side on, and then you have a shape that you can work with to create a 3D effect, like so. Now it could be a little bit flatter if you want, but I kind of like the fullness of the shape. Mold it around a bit like that, and there you go. Now this will go here, but what we're going to do is we're going to shape this a little bit. Now let's just turn our flowers, give them some shape, a bit like what we did with the bowl. There we go. Okay, and some of the leaves, let's turn them forward like that, and some of them let's fold back. So just be careful you don't rip anything off. It is quite a delicate little flower after the treatment we've given it. But you just want, yeah, there you go, some of these leaves facing up and down, not just flat. All right, now I'm going to use some dimensionals on these, on these as well. And where's my dimensional pad? See, that's why it pays to put everything away as you finish with it. Now, let's just grab a couple here, one there, and one on that side there, one and one. Okay, there we go. Now, these are quite narrow, so you can't put too many of these on without it. I think that's enough anyway there, and the rest will glue flat to the card. I wondered why this was. Oh no, the camera's not too low. Although I feel like you're probably looking at my hands in a very close-up sort of a fashion. That's the second time I've done that. I've been creating a video and I've deleted the large files, and oh, just makes you want to cry. I think that's enough glue there. Still another one of those buds. Okay, all right, let's put that in our urn and let's move it over just a little bit. There we go. And same approach, bending the flowers in on the edges so that they retain that curved shape there. That one's down. There we go. Now this little fella is going to be glued into position, and we'll have a dimensional here, one here, and one just here, because it can be placed without it being seen. Yes, not being seen. And all right, and a bit of glue, just the finest amount where it needs to join with those pieces that we've cut. So, come on. There and there. Okay. And there it goes. 1 and 2. Okay, give it a second. Okay, there is that. Now, I'm going to end the video there because that has given you enough information to be able to work to that stage. And what I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to add that leaf stock, but I'm going to do it in a slightly different manner so that it looks the same, but it's a little bit different. So, oh, sorry, off camera. Okay. Apologies once again for being so late with this. I'll get this loaded up straight away. And we will make a second video tomorrow, which is part 2 of this. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you found it informative. And as I say every time, I hope to see you next time on Michael's Card Art. Thank you.